Hi everybody, good afternoon. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Hiren, how are you?
All good. Yes.
I'm audible?
You are very much audible. Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much,
Is
Hiren, for
is the
joining us.
picture and sound is also okay?
Yeah. I think
Perfect.
it's all good.
Nice.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. It'll be good to get some insight from you based on your experience on how
Right.
stone can be used in exterior and interior residential spaces. But before I start, I'll quickly introduce. You don't need an introduction, but I'll quickly give everybody a short introduction.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Hiren is a SEP graduate and he's been an architect par excellence for over 3 decades. Hiren is renowned for creating dynamic spaces that embody a harmonious balance between nature and all that is man-made. Uh, what makes Hiren a really truly unique individual is that he's as much of a prolific artist as well as a nature lover. Art and design are independent for him. And as he repeatedly quips, he identifies himself as an artist first and then an architect. He's been running Hiren Patel Architects since 1989, which is a firm that has grown exponentially by accepting every challenge that has come its way. From designing high rises in Ahmedabad, which is their base, they've not looked back by aiming higher all the time. Today, their palette of work covers everything from small residence to heritage buildings to palaces to huge entertainment complexes and large commercial megaliths as well. So, Hiren, you have a great portfolio. Please share some insights for everybody here today. I'll quickly ask you. The first question would be, when it comes to residential spaces, uh,
Okay.
what are the particular characteristics or criteria that you have when you're picking up stone?
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Yeah, it's pleasure to be on such kind of platform and let's say sharing whatever little I would know. I enjoy sharing with the youngsters and the people who are curious about architecture design, landscaping design, interior designing, and it's not about the saying about my things or something, but something which I have learned across a span of more than 25 years now. Of many of the people who are listening maybe were not born when I become an architect. So basically, there's a lot. Especially in the field of designing, uh, things comes very slow. I mean, the experience matters a lot because it's a kind of a journey, and over the time you learn. So basically, I would say if you become an architect by studying, let's say 4 to 5 years from any of your university or campus or world best things, actually your learning start from once you start working in real field. Either you are working in office or somewhere. So and that process is always slow, but that slow process make you more and more perfect, and that's how eventually you become a better designer, I would say. So for me, I'm still like a learner. I'm still curious about learning from other people about how they work and if they have some kind of because in designing, I would say that one cannot say this is right and this is wrong. one can say I like this and I don't like this. So basically it's about the liking and belief, but it is nothing like maths that you can say, yes, this is good and this is bad. So similar way, the use of stone is right or wrong is not the things. I mean, it's a kind of one palette which we love most, and because the stone is a natural, it's a gift from the mother nature, and if you the feel of touching stone, that surface has its own quality because it's created by the nature, and definitely we convert into the in a way that it is comfortable for us to use it. So in residential, I mean, this is the stone is a basic material for so many years. I mean, earlier there were no tiles, nothing, and the people used to make their living spaces, which is most prime space. We spend two places maximum of our time now. That one is office and one is home. And in earlier time, people were always in farms, so they were spending with the nature, and the major part of architecture was always the home. So home remained very important part of it. And if you are near to the natural material, it makes you more comfortable. Psychologically, it is more soothing, and you feel very nice about it. So use of stone is very much there for generation and generation of years and decade ago. I mean, people, because strong materials, so people use for flooring and things like that. So definitely, as designers in residential project, we love natural material for flooring. I mean, definitely there are so much beautiful tiles you get and so many other material palette you get. But still, if you want to connect as per our own, let's say, philosophy, we would like to be stay with the nature, and we love designing with inches or something. So where the stone works very well, the natural stone. So basically, there are, I'm sure there are all designers here and people from industry, but there are three kind of stones we have. That one is sandstone, and then you have the marble, and then you have the granite. So granite is the hardest things, versus sandstone could be a porous, but it has its own beauty, and marble, it has its own luster. So basically, as a design team, we love using marble a lot. In India, we have beautiful marble, and nowadays, because of now marble industries also increase. I mean, they go to another level, and they know how to beautify the product. So now you in the marble industry, there are a lot many things that earlier we used to polish the marble, and that's all. Now there are so many of finish, and that's how you can get different kind of character, different kind of end results as you desire. You want gloss flooring, or you want matte filling, or you want mix of both, can be done. So it's absolutely like there is no limitation in terms of using marble, because you can get whatever the kind of answer you want for your project. So in a residential unit, yes, we definitely use the stone material for definitely for flooring. We love using them in bathrooms. We love using them bathroom. And yes, we do have difficulty working with our clients, because client would say कि यहाँ पे एसिड से मुझे clean करना है, तो what is that? So then we say acid say you can't clean the marble flooring, because, but they say okay, but we need in terms of a hygiene point of view and kind of thing. So there are there's a practical kind of difficulty one would face, which I would like to say. We also being such a another level, one can say, or experienced office, one can say, are also facing equal problem with the client like you young guys, that we have to also fight for that. Okay, when we are, let's say, using marble into the bathroom, I mean, it is really difficult to convince people, because in their way they are right, and then we say, oh yeah, if you apply acid on your skin, what happens? So marble is as delicate, as beautiful like that, because it's created by Mother Nature. So I mean, there are ways of cleaning. I mean, we don't apply acid on our skin, but we apply the soap, mild soap, and that's how we still clean our body. Similar way, you take care of your bathroom in such a way that you can, with a mild soap, you can do it. You don't have to put, let's say, acid in everything. And people get convinced, because why we use natural marble into the bathroom is also like I have learned kind of things from over the experience. What happened? There are beautiful tiles you get, and you get excited to use the tiles. But what happens? You let's say I buy from the world best tile from world best company, and then we make beautiful bathroom. And the same vendor from let's say we bought the thing, 2 साल के बाद वो आके बोलेगा सर अभी नया मॉडल आ गया है टाइल्स का and you can use that, and then suddenly you say that मेरा bathroom पुराना हो गया, which will never happen with the natural material. Yeah. So that's the beauty of a natural material, that it never gets age away. It never get, even though it's become older and older, it has its own beauty, you know, because if you're old Makrana marble, I mean, after 20 years, you can say, oh, wow, I still have Makrana marble, which now you don't get at all, no? So the value of using natural materials completely, it has its own charm. So we use them definitely so much in terms of bathroom, and yes, they are difficult in terms of maintenance, but one can manage it. And second, yes, also people love using, and now people get convinced about using stone as a material palette with exterior part. That's also new things. I mean, especially in Gujarat, it was not much popular towards the western side. Yes, definitely it was very popular in Delhi side, that people always used to do. Rajasthan, we have always seen in Jaipur that people always will clear because the stone was basic material, so they always used to use that. But in let's say places like here or now in Bangalore, there's a fascination of using the natural stone as a material palette, and they go very beautifully in terms of definitely classical kind of architecture you are doing. Definitely stone goes wonderfully, but also in the modern architecture they go very well, and especially, you know, I mean, you don't need to repaint anything, so it just once you are applied, you are done with years altogether. So that's the beauty. Second, also I'm telling the why we use a stone as a building facade, and why not plaster. So definitely the plaster will cost you much lesser versus the stone would cost maybe 3 times or 4 times expensive. But why still you use that? Because the stone helps you in terms of heat protection. Partly I would say that it is a better material to take care of. It is more stronger compared to the rain and everything. So it still is one extra layer of thing. And apart from all this thing, once you apply the stone cladding, your workmanship becomes automatically beautiful, because the flooring guy will measure with every inch and corner and he will apply. So the end of your entire building comes out so beautiful, like the way you have drafted it out, which becomes difficult if you let's plaster and paint it. There are chances of having not that 100% kind of workmanship of eye of an architect. So that's where we love using that, and especially it also goes very well with the exposed concrete. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So,
I
how do you
my phone and this was interconnected. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. So, the next question that I would have for you is, how do you think one can use stone for different surfaces? You know,
How could you one use a stone in a different surface?
or vertical.
I think your sound was getting cut. Can
Is
you
it
repeat
better?
again?
Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was asking you, how do you think stone can be used for horizontal and vertical surfaces? You know, for example, floors. What are the things one can play around with when it comes to working with different types of surfaces?
Okay. If I repeat your question, that how do people use stone material for the vertical surface and horizontal surface? That is what you want to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, uh, yes, I mean the laying down. You can listen to me. Hello. Is my sound is coming proper? Hello. Perfect.
You,
Okay,
Hiren.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, yes, there are two applications of stone, definitely. One is the horizontal one, which you use for your flooring and everything, which is easy and simple because it slides around, so it stays along with your gravity. So it works easily in terms of application. But when you apply the stone vertically, definitely you need to do a little engineering of it. There are because when stone is a heavy material, and if you are using a bigger size of the stone, because your stone's sizes, your thickness of stone will increase, and though the thickness of stone will increase, the weight will increase, and that's how there is a kind of a challenge in terms of application. Now what happened that most of the house you will see where people use our external part, you use a small size of stone and you apply with the wet cladding with the cement and mortar. That's how we have been doing. If we are, let's say, doing like cladding, there are two ways. One, you use like a stone masonry, which is so fantastic. But nowadays the stone's availability is not equally for many of region, and then you have to get the stone from the, let's say, far off distance. It's become expensive. So even though you have love for the stone, it's become expensive. So there's another way of doing it, using the stone as a cladding material. So there you use with cement cladding and kind of thing. Now we as a designers always try to do challenge yourself. So what happened that you use with the conventional way of using the stone, but now that you have seen for so many of the project, and you want to challenge as a designer to yourself, and then you think, okay, actually I am getting the size of, let's say, 2 feet by 4 feet or 2 feet by 5 feet. Why should I cut? Why can't I use completely entire stone? And then that's is a more of engineering work, because that looks fabulously beautiful with the huge scale of the kind of dry cladding possibilities. That's what we do. If we are doing with a wet cladding, we try to insert with the kind of extra spike or the kind of support, so the stone cannot slide down while done or later on after the couple of years. So because if big stone can fall down from top, it can create any kind of damage, or it could be dangerous for people also passing by. So there we actually take extra precaution by nailing them into the wall. So even though your cementing has not worked out wonderful, it still stays, or it gives you a kind of time that, okay, I'm getting loosened up, but it won't immediately fall down. So yes, so the idea is that if you are working with the biggest size of stone in terms of challenging you as a designers, definitely you need to take a help of the experts of stone masonry work, and maybe engineers and even structural engineers to take care of that. Yeah. I am not able to hear you. Your sound doesn't come here.
Hi, I hope you all can hear me now. Can you hear me now? If somebody can confirm that they can hear me. I'm just waiting for Hiren to come back online again. Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. I think Hiren is also disconnected, so I will just wait. Yeah, we are live from Delhi actually. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, hi.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So I think
Yeah,
some.
yeah, I think my voice was not audible. So my next question would be, a lot of your projects have large, beautiful sort of outdoor spaces, right? Outdoor spaces, just the nature of the space is such that they're high traffic. they're more prone to wear and tear. So what are the factors that one should consider before deciding what stone to lay in external spaces?
Right. I have learned something new over the time, and I would say the lockdown has actually helped me for that. I mean, my perception of beauty has actually changed. For example, if I give an example, that if I see a flower on the plant or tree, or let's say any kind of plant, or let's say rose on the flower, and you think it's beautiful, but once that flower is dried away and fallen down on the floor, it also has its own beauty. And that beauty is also very magical. If you see those fallen flowers and fallen leaf on the floors, it also has a charm. So in this time of lockdown, because I was staying at home, we always staying at home, and we were in connection with our nature, wherever, whether we were in our room or we were in our garden or wherever in house or balcony of your apartment, we were actually having enough time to understand the nature which was around us. And we realized that to get inspiration, you actually don't have to even step out of your place, and there are so much things are there to inspire from, and you could see the kind of the beautiful light falling into the plants and trees, and even the flowers and the leaf has fallen down, they still look so beautiful. And I would say I developed kind of wisdom to admire that fallen beauty equally, and it has its own charm. So now for me also I feel that applies the same way on the stone. So if stone is, let's get wet and it start getting moss on that, it's getting green, or let's say because of lots of rain there are stain, to me they are beautiful piece of art, rather than saying that every day I keep on cleaning. So there are two school of thoughts. One, you start loving that rustness and you start seeing that beauty. And many times, no, we have this patina, we have that, we see, especially in Europe, you see beautiful big building with the brass roof and everything, and then they get it weather effect and they become almost like green. And we admire that rusting of, let's say, copper and converting, getting into the green is a beauty. Similar way, we also started enjoying that little weather effect on stone is actually more beautiful. We also see that many of time we go to the garden for garden pot selection. They make from the stone. There is a place called Dhangadra, which is few kilometers from Ahmedabad, which is a beautiful sandstone called Dhangadra. It's a beautiful palace there. And the royal family, they also make a nice pot for, and they actually, they export to the Greece and the Italy this flower pot. And what they do, in fact, they make them and then they put kind of chemical and they try to fit in, they bury inside the land for a few months and they take it out because they want that weather effect kind of end product. So I'm sure that jeans, we buy the jeans, but we get the little faded kind of jeans. So there is a kind of beauty now one has to develop, that we love the jeans wearing, which is not the pure blue, but it has a moss stain in moss satin. We think this is a beautiful piece of my trouser. Similar way, we started understanding about if the stone has been weathered, it looks even beautiful. So that is a designers we love. Yes, you have to convince and educate, not convince, but I would say educate your client about that. Look, it's a natural material, it's a process, it's a normal process. And if weathering is happening to your external finishes of your house, doesn't matter because it's a process, and the way the aging is becoming, you should start enjoying rather than getting worried about it. So if the client start getting that understanding, then your problem is completely solved, and people would definitely say that okay, we also equally love that. Yes, if not that is the case, one has to be a little careful in terms of selection of the material. That means you have to have the material which is you are using in external part has to be very hard and less porous. So what happens is if you use the granite, it's easy to clean. You can brush it up after 2 years, and again it will shine as good like that. So that goes definitely on your design process, that you are looking very sleek and clean surfaces. Then go for the kind of granite. Indian granite is the best one. Then you can go with the softer, which is like some imported stones and like that. And otherwise you can go with the sandstone. We love sandstone, so it has this weather effect, but it's okay. And now that you also get certain kind of chemical which you apply, so the life of that porousness increase. It stays, and the rain doesn't go inside. So that's how you protect from that. Because what happens in rain, you start getting the patches along the building, and sometimes people may not like that. So now you also get equal good chemical to protect your stone, which you have to apply every 3 to 7 years time, depends on what kind of material you use. But definitely, even you have very kind of porous kind of stone, definitely you can control with the chemical also.
Right. Okay, thank you. That's very, very useful actually. So can you also share some tips on how to play with different stones, right, together when you're designing contemporary spaces? If one wants to use a combination of stones, what can one?
Right. What I have learned, it's like when you start with a new thing, it's exactly like if I am learning to make a new painting, and if somebody, let's say, give me a 20 box of 24 sketch pens, I want to use every sketch pen in my painting. But over the time, once you realize, then you will pick maybe 3 best of that, and you will use. And that painting is much better than the one which you use, let's say 24. Same thing applies in terms of selection of material and stone. So if you are using, let's say, marble for your entire house space, you may end up that using everywhere, that every room has a different, bedroom has its own story, and then if you go to the bathroom, again it has its own story. So that's playing with too many materials. And then I always say it is not a good idea to have a competition between the 2 equal people. What happens if, let's say, I use one marble at the ground floor, maybe the most beautiful one, and to achieve the economy, let's say I'm using another marble at the first floor. So you are very happy that I have used the best marble where my guests are going to come, and living, dining, and family are the best of best marble. But okay, I'm okay with my bedroom area, which is equally, I'm okay because that's for family, and I'm saving less than another 300 rupees per square feet for that. Very logical in terms of. So what happens that you use one marble at ground, and you use another marble at the first floor. So you create a kind of competition between 2 equal kind of material. So what happens if somebody comes at your home and says, "Wow, your first floor bedroom marble is fantastic. Why didn't you use for your drawing room?" And then it starts, no? Because then it starts saying, "Oh my God, we did a mistake. Then we could have used the same thing. We could have saved the materials. We could have saved the money. Our architect did not say that, and oh, you are right, and we could have used the same." So then confusion start, And in India, we have always a free of course advice from everyone, and everybody is experts. So that's the biggest problem. And somebody will say, "Oh, your the cream marble is better in terms of vastu, and the below marble is not." Then even you have 5,000 rupees square feet marble, it's completely the value of that marble will go away. So I would say that rather use the one material, so you don't have kind of internal competition among that. And also the entire building looks beautiful because it hurts less to your eyes. That's what I say. It doesn't give loss of heat, because subconsciously many things comes in your mind. You don't notice, but it starts bothering you slowly, unconsciously. So use the subtle material along the entire project. Fantastic. If you have courage, and then I could say that also use the one marble in entire. If you have, let's say, 5 or 7 bathroom in your big house, you can use the same marble which you use in drawing room to bathroom to clearing. The house can even much better. But that sometimes become difficult to convince people. As a designers also, you feel, okay, I want to experiment with kids' room, I want to try with the pink stone or something, so you play out. But I would say this, always try to reduce it, try to filter it out to selection of the same material. Yes, if you are, let's say you are using marble and granite, yes, then you can always play, because they are both are different kind of material. So let's say you have sandstone on the veranda because you want to have earthen filling, but inside you want very clean and easy to maintain. So you have marble floor or maybe granite, something like that. So I would say this: if you have similar kind of material, then try to reduce the number of variation. Otherwise, if you're different kind of stone, I mean, you can play as much as possible, and that's how you start challenging yourself, and that's how you eventually. And don't expect. I always say there's something which I learned, which I would like to tell to everybody, that be critical to your work. I mean, Lee Corbusier has always said that if you have to judge the building, don't look the front of building, but go back and see the back side of the building, and you will know how beautiful building is that. That means how much effort you have put in the entire thing. So be like that. And second is be very critical of what you have been doing and try to analyze. So if you've done the mistake, don't worry. No, you can improve upon the next project, but always try to see and always analyze. So what you have been always doing, go back to your project. Don't shy away to ask your client and check upon that whether this material was right or we did with our excitement. So then you will surprisingly come with so many good solutions which will help you out to work and not to do the mistake again. So it would be always good to go back to your projects and recheck with your own perspective as well as the client's perspective. And let's say if you've done some mistake, don't carry away with that kind of thing, because you are on the railway station. If you have missed one train, don't worry कि मैंने ये दिल्ली वाली मेरी ट्रेन छूट गई है, 24 घंटे के बाद दूसरी वो दिल्ली वाली ट्रेन आने ही वाली है. So just take it cool and be patient. I'm sure you won't. You will also have equal chance to if you miss something. Don't worry much on that.
That's very, very insightful, Hiren. So you've spoken about playing with different materials. How does one play with textures and patterns? What should one keep in mind when it comes to different textures? And a lot of people play with patterns, and there's a lot of drama that can be created as well. So
Right.
what is your take on?
Right. See, I mean, there's so much of things are. There are so much of possibility, especially when you are working with the stone. I mean, as you said, that one is texture by itself, one is a material by itself, that what kind of stone you are using. So it's a different category of stone, you have choice. Then you have different color of stone, you have choice. Then you have different combination of design pattern, you have so many choice. And then you have the texture. So there are so many things one can do with that material. So what happens, you have to start loving your product so much. If you love, then only you can create. So don't, because in today's time, you have so much of information available. You don't have to really run around. If I just Google that I want to mix marble with granite, and I just put on my mobile phone, I will get hundreds and hundreds of beautiful pictures of use of both materials. So what happened that now virtually you are able to visit anywhere. If I just Google and if I want to the Louvre Museum and see what kind of flooring they have, I can virtually visit and see the things. So nowadays, it's what happened that you have too much of information available. You have to calm down. So there are kind of things that you have too much of information, so you are getting in too much. But then you have to take it out and you have to use something which is very wise. So you have to actually calm down. You have to shut down your phone. You have to shut down everything and again go back to your ownness to try to get. Then you will start getting the right answer to your possibility. Otherwise, what will happen that it will become in a kind of little cut paste that you see, like something and you are so much driven, which is also okay, I say, because something you like and sometimes you fall in so much of love that you would like to copy that. So that happens if we are human, and you have little fear that this design looks so beautiful. I have seen in some five-star hotel, you want to apply to the drawing room of your house because you don't have courage to change, because you have seen something and if I do the same kind of flooring will look fantastic. So you end up doing that little copy kind of thing, and don't fall in that kind of, if you do once, twice, that's fine, but don't fall in that comfort zone. Otherwise, you will start doing that. You look somewhere, you start using and apply. But as I say, just cut down everything, be calm and try to draw with your own hands or your computer. Apply your own mind, inspiring from that rather than imitating the same thing. The result can be very fantastic, and you will have very much of pride on that. This I have designed, or our officers designed something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think it is important to step back, and sometimes like less is more, right? Too
Sorry?
much. I said sometimes it's important to step back. back and look at how less is more.
Absolutely.
So by
I mean,
back, like you said, it's important to step back and say that, okay, what is it that I'm really doing here? Like you said,
right,
it's not about the cut and copy and the many things that you can do. Of course, the options are limitless, when it
right,
comes to design. But
right,
one has to look at what is suited, what is apt, what is relevant, and what is
right.
also, I think, to bring out the benefit of every stone. I think that becomes
Absolutely.
very important.
Right.
Okay, so my last question before I move on to the questions from the audience, a lot of times a stark element in the room, right? You're an artist yourself. How do you think stone can be used to add an artistic touch?
Can you repeat, because I could not hear so well?
So a lot of times, like a brightly colored wall or one simple element can become an artistic element in a space. How can
True.
stone be used to enhance the artistic factor of any space?
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many good stone you get, and they are as worth like any big piece of art, or it's a big painting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we get. I mean, so many of exotic. I mean, in terms of the people in marble industry, they call it exotic stones available, or semi-precious stone. So there are beautiful such kind of stones are available. They are very rare, and because they are very rare, it has its own charm, and that's why they are also very expensive. So you use in that fashion. Onyx marble. There's the onyx marble, which we say that onyx marble is very good in terms of highlighting the spaces, because it's on charm. Sorry, it's on charm, and you can get the light from behind, and you can create something magic out of that. And similarly, there are such kind of exotic stones, so you use them actually like a highlighter. So maybe your dining piece top could be that, or maybe your living the central coffee table can be of that, and then they become a central piece of highlighted piece of your furniture. And also those stone can become also like a big backdrop with a nice very important part of the things, and especially in our Indian houses, people use the most beautiful background or backdrop for the stone is in most of the puja room or in the temple, because that's the most auspicious and divine space for most of us. So basically, what I feel that the people use the maximum as a highlighted stone for the I would say for temple. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. That was super, insightful, and I think your approach is very unique. It's very personal, and I think thank you for sharing that with us. I'll just quickly ask a few questions that the audience has for us.
Okay.
One is, what is your favorite flooring?
Sorry.
What is your
favorite?
favorite flooring? Favorite flooring? Yeah.
My favorite flooring is the Indian white marble.
Okay. Okay, and then somebody's asked about the where you have enjoyed experimenting with marble.
I'm not able to hear you again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. No,
Hi,
again
Hiren,
your
can you
sound
hear
is
me?
slow. Yeah.
Okay. Can you share
Sorry,
a favorite project
Yeah, can
that
you
you
tell
have
again?
enjoyed experimenting with?
Answer. It's when you say which one of you have which kid is your favorite, your son or your daughter, or maybe you
Thanks.
think it's which one is your favorite one. It's very difficult to answer because all of them are very unique. So I mean, we use the marble, and to me they are all equal. I mean, nothing. I wouldn't say that anything which is very favorite or unique application we have done. I would say we have done equally into most of the projects, and that's how they are all equally dear to us, I would say. Yeah, again, your sound is gone away. Hello. Hello. Right. We are again. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. So I was asking you what somebody had asked. What is the best stone to be used in a puja area backdrop?
Yeah. I mean, uh, definitely it varies from the person to person and designer to designer. Most of the time, I mean, people will prefer a white surface, white marble, because whiteness connects to the peace, and that's
Purity.
how peace and divine. So most of the people prefer to have the best of best white puja room. So that's what is. But I mean, we have also used the black marble as a backdrop for the this thing, because we wanted to highlight the white statue of shrine in front of that, and we thought if the background is a dark stone would even highlight more. So we have used that. And if you see I mean, we try to associate when you design, let's say, puja room into your private houses, you associate with the temple you have visited. And in our India, we have the beautiful temple with the black stone to yellow Jaisalmer to sandstone to white. But when it comes to the shrine and everything, it is generally white or black marble figures. So I would say more than 80% people would prefer to have white marble as a client side, and as a designer side also we agree upon that. But yes, definitely we'll do some kind of inlay if the design philosophy permits to that. We do that. Many of our projects also we try to create a puja room with a complete glass around. So only you have the marble as a flooring, and just a little backdrop for your shrine or little temple you are putting, or some pictures of your god or goddess you are putting. We have the nice again the background of again the same marble which we are using at the flooring level, because the rest of this is open glass and you are looking the outside garden, which we try to design again with something related to the temple or something like we have banana plants and we have tulsi or bili patra or something which one can connect with the, let's say, temple or the prayer spaces. So, but most of the puja room people do prefer for the white marble. Yeah.
Okay. I think the last question that we had was, what about poolside? What stones do you recommend to be used on pool sides?
Yeah, poolside also has, I mean, one has to experiment, because it's always difficult for designers, and more equally designers has a difficulty, and so the client, because clients are not technically sound and they are looking with the end result, where the designers are we have to visualize that you have 4 feet, it's 1.2 meter of water in the pool, and then water will look. And that water will look completely because of the what kind of flooring you have used it. So basically, most of the people try to get the figure of the water in a blue tone. That's how people use the, let's say, blue color of tile, basically, to get the blue tint. But there are ways of going beyond that, and that's how people start using the natural stone. Now, if you go to a very tropical area, they love Indian slats, and most of the beautiful resort in Bali and Thailand and Singapore, private houses, people are actually importing the stone from India to apply for the swimming pool, because they are slate stone, which is greenish and grayish kind of tone, and they look fantastically beautiful. Also, we have used the completely black granite for the swimming pool, and it looks fantastic because the water becomes a little deeper in tone. And basically, if you want to reflect the sky, you have to create your floor more white. So it's like if you go to Greece, they are all white swimming pool with painted with lime, and you get the reflection of the sky. We are doing one beautiful house for somebody, and we have the swimming pool at the first floor, huge swimming pool at the first floor, and there we are actually using the kind of white marble with the prominent gray figures into that, and we have that kind of little book match we call in the language of stone people, that we are making a book match of that, and the entire swimming pool is completely white marble with the gray lines, and we are looking forward to it because that's we have visualized, we have done that flooring experiment from the vendors we bought it, but we have to still visualize that after that filling of 4 feet or the 1.2 meter water, how it is going to look. So we are still, I would say, touch wood, or let's cross the finger that the end result comes even better than what we are visualizing. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Last words from you today, Hiren. Hashtag let's talk design. So if you had to, I mean, what would you say? Let's talk design.
Let's talk design. Yes. See, it's a long answer. It's not design. Design is the one which makes your life more meaningful. It makes you a person who is more humble, appreciate the beauty all around, everywhere, because you have the sense of design, and so you get the sense of aesthetics. And I would say that doesn't belong to only designers. Every person is a wonderful designer. It is maybe it's hidden inside, and people like us are a little blessed that we had that qualities, and those qualities has been sharpened out by our professors, and we study, and that's how we become so-called designers. But everybody has those qualities. If you have any kind of inclination to that, don't feel ashamed of that, and you become a designer. There is nobody that I say I am only a designer. Anybody could be a designer. So person who is selling I see that Amanpreet Singh from floors. I think person selling a floors lighting can be a better designer than Hiren Patel. Nobody can stop him to become better designer. So that's have a faith on your side, and you become like a designer, because designing will bring you something very good. Kind of you will become very honest people. You will have so much of love and affection with the nature around him, and then you don't have to go to any 5-star hotel to have an expensive dinner to enjoy. But if I see the beautiful building as a designer, I feel more happy than having an expensive dinner. So everybody will have that little part of them as the designers apply in whatever the areas you are working on, and you will start enjoying the creative field which we do every day. I think everybody can do that.
Thank you so much, Hiren. This has been very, very inspiring for everybody. We really appreciate your effort, and you've shared so much insight into how you have worked with stone. Thank you again for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.